Howdy y'all, Caleb here. I don't know what I've labeled this video yet, but I'm sure it was clickbait worthy. This is one of those lists that we're going to look at today that is probably not a competitive list, but it could be a lot of fun, and it has a unique interaction that I hadn't thought of before. So, Lewis Keel, he had commented in the Stegadon video about the Engine of the Gods, and Engine of the Gods has some unique rules, and he was wondering, is there a reason you can't use the Thunderlizard ability and get extra Engine of the God rolls? And you know what? You're right. I had only been thinking about the Engine of the Gods as taking one in each list, and now you can fire it again with Thunderlizards, but you can also do some other stuff with it. So we're going to look at that today. Lewis, thanks for bringing that up to my attention. So we know the Engine of the Gods. We've talked about that before. I've got some videos on the Stegadons and engines. Go look at those if you need some more in-depth video on them. Their War Scroll, they're actually pretty good at combat for a monster. They do get tagged with artillery as well, so you could only take 4 of them if somehow you could figure out a way to put in more than those 4 behemoths. But the Engine of the Gods is artillery. It is a hero. So it does have some unique interactions there. But it does have some great melee stuff there, especially that sweet massive horns, which you can add some attacks to if you list build right. This thing can do some massive damage. In this list we're gonna bring some extra engines to get around this Thunderlizard ability. So on the War Scroll for the engine, you're gonna be rolling this Cosmic Engine roll here. That's the important thing. That's what you're taking this guy for. And at the start of your shooting phase, you can make 1 Cosmic Engine roll for 1 model with this ability. Roll 2d6 and look up the roll on the table to the right. If there's a friendly SLANN within 12 of this model, you can choose to roll 3d6 instead of 2d6. So it does have a restriction here. You can only make 1 Cosmic Engine roll for 1 model with this ability. I don't know why this rule's in here. I think this was aimed squarely at those of us who took the 4 Engine of the Gods build back in the old book. I love that build. I took that a lot. It was a lot of fun. You'd put out 4 engines and just start spamming the board with skinks. It was a lot of fun. So maybe that's what this is aimed at us. So I've only ever list build with 1. But in Thunderlizards, it does say here that you can use this command ability. So it costs a command point to use this every time. You pick 1 Bastiladon or Engine of the Gods, wholly within 18 of a friendly Thunderlizard hero. So that's just any hero, which is themselves. If that unit is a Bastiladon, it can shoot its solar engine again, even if it's done so. If the unit's an Engine of the Gods, you can make a Cosmic Engine roll for it, even if you've done so in that phase. This unit cannot benefit from this. A unit cannot benefit from this command ability more than once per phase. So what it says here is you can fire it even if that previous rule on the War Scroll says you can't. So we've already fired our 1 at the start of the phase, so we're done there. But now we can fire that same 1 again, or you could fire another one. And so you can bring multiple engines. Now this is going to get expensive because you're going to have to use command points for every time you want to fire. So you are paying extra for that ability, but it's possible. So you can fire a second Engine of the Gods as long as you have the command points to do so. So we see what this list on the Cosmic Engine table is, and as long as you don't roll a 2 or 3, there's usually a benefit. 2 or 3, you'll do mortals. 4 through 8, you're going to heal in a AoE bubble. 9 through 12, you can do D3 mortals at 24 inches, or you can do D3 mortals in an AoE bubble, area of effect bubble. This is the sweet spot we're looking for, that 13 through 17. This is only possible if you have the SLANN, so you can roll 3 dice. And now you're looking to summon 10 Saurus Warriors, wholly within 12 of this model, more than 9 away from enemy units, and add it to your army. So we're fishing for that one. If you get this mythical 18, that would be 3 6s. I think that will happen 1 in every 200 times that you roll this. Hadn't happened to me yet. You do get to double all your attacks within 24 inches of this model, which is pretty awesome. But we're fishing for those summons in this list, and so that's what we're going to be going for. So we're going to list build. Let's take a look at our list. We want to maximize this ability, or our chances at this ability. So of course I put 4 Engine of the Gods in this list. That's the max you can put in here. That fills all our behemoth slots as their heroes. You can also put Lord Croak in here. I'm putting him in, and I'm putting a SLANN. You might think that's a lot of points into 2 SLANNs. Well, they are required within 12 inches of your engines to get that extra 3rd dice for the cosmic roll. So I'm going to take kind of 2 wings of this army, each with 2 engines and a SLANN to support it. But also, it's critical that you need a lot of command points for this list. You're going to be firing off, let's just pretend this is the one we're going to fire off normally every time, but then we're going to fire them all using that Thunder Lizard's ability. So that's going to require 4 command points per turn to fire those off. Luckily, we've got Lord Croak and our SLANN. So Lord Croak has an ability that in the hero phase, you're going to roll 3 dice, and on a 4-up, you get an extra command points. The SLANN, he rolls 2 dice, and on 4-ups, you get command points. But we're going to give him Great Rememberer, which in this is the command trait. And we don't have to take the Thunder Lizard command trait because he doesn't have a mount. So we're going to get around that by making him our general. So he's going to get this command trait where if he's the general and on the battlefield at the start of your hero phase, roll dice on a 4-up, you get an extra command point. So now he's just getting an extra one. I've got to get these command points going. So that's going to be 6 dice on 4-ups. We're getting command points. So we have our normal one. Statistically, we should get another 3. That would get us our 4 command points per turn that we need for these engines. Sometimes you'll have more, sometimes you'll have less. It'll even out. Statistically, you should have about 4 per turn. So we're gonna have enough to fire all those guys off. I am taking Stellar Tempest for Croak just to let him do some horde killing stuff, and Celestial Equilibrium for the other SLANN, which he'll make it easier to cast everybody else. So, for Croak. So I'm also taking 3 units of 5 Source Guard. Those guys are just there to keep my SLANNs alive, and you could probably drop one of those if you want to take some skinks or something just to give you a few more points to work with. But obviously this is not a competitive list. This is a for fun list, and so I'm just going to take extra wound ablation for Croak and the SLANN. My endless spells, you got 80 points to work with on endless spells. You could take the Bound Geminids if you want to. I'm taking Balewind Vortex to put Croak up on, and I'm taking Gnashing Jaws just because I had an extra 40 points. I like that spell. Good area denial, and when it's bound, it can be real annoying for the enemy. So that's my list right there for the 4 engines. I've used up all my hero slots, got my battle line, and then got some endless spells. So when we're popping out those command points, we've seen this chart before, my cosmic engine probability chart. And with 2d6 dice, you're going to be hitting that heals most of the time. You still have a decent chance at mortal wounds, but you're going to be hitting heals a good majority of the time. Once you add in that 3rd dice, 75% of the time you're going to be up in this upper bracket. This is that sweet spot. Either we're doing mortals or we're getting a summons. And so we're going to have a pretty good chance here at one of those. Generally, it's 50% of the time it's going to be the mortals, which is still fine. We're doing D3 mortals at 24 inches. That means turn 1 in the shooting phase, we've already moved up a little bit. We're going to be hitting their heroes if we get those mortal wounds. But we're hoping for those summons to make this list the fun part. But if not, you're going to do 5 D3 mortals. Let's pretend we're doing 5 D3 mortals at 24 inches. You're gonna take out some heroes with that, plus add the Croak and the SLANN, their spells. You're gonna be doing a lot of mortals to take out those heroes that they have hidden back behind their lines. So that's kind of what we're aiming for, is that top bracket. 75% chance you're gonna hit that top bracket, and so that'll be nice. If by chance your engines do get into melee, they're not shabby. Here's our melee profile here, and so they're actually pretty decent melee. There's not a whole lot going into this. We're just adding a constellation onto one of them and reroll ones. If they're in melee, you may want to allocate a command point to reroll their ones, and you've got versus a 4-up, you're doing almost 13 damage. So not too bad. Slam 2 of those into something and you're going to kill it. So pretty nice in melee as well, especially if once they get past all your screens and stuff. So look at deployment. Let's look at what deployment kind of looks like here. Once I set that up, took some pictures, and I decided I didn't like the deployment as much. But this is one way that you could deploy it. You see I've kind of got 2 different wings here. Our 2 engines and a SLANN to protect them and the guard to protect those guys. So you can kind of go, move these guys up different areas if you want to. You can split them up even further. They just have to remain within 12 of your SLANN to keep the summons alive. They can go off on their own if you want them to. They'll do plenty of damages that way and be able to heal themselves and whatnot. But I think if I were to change that, I probably would have put my Croak and my SLANN here just to help them get on the line so they could cast their spells up. But once you do this, these guys have a movement of 8, and then they're going to summon in their warriors after that. So we can see kind of, got a picture here of what the battlefield might look like after your first turn. So after your first turn, let's pretend, let's not say that you're getting all your summons, okay? Only maybe 4. So we're not getting 5, we're only doing 4. It might look something like this. You got your Croak up on the Balewind, which is why I said that last deployment probably wasn't right. You don't have any room to put Croak on a Balewind. So make sure you line that up right. But let's get Croak up on the Balewind. You've got the Gnashing Jaws out from this guy, moved up into the middle of the board to kind of block that area up. And then you're summoning out bodies. You're just creating lanes or creating blocks that they'll have to get through. Once they get through those warriors, if you get the next turn, you can counterattack with your Stegadon. You can hit him with Croak's spells. Now he's up on his Balewind. He's got that big 16-inch bubble now for his spammable spells. And I mean, if somebody gets into this area here, these things are going to be doing those AoE mortals. You can choose to do those if you roll it on the Cosmic Engine. So if you're not summoning, you're just blasting stuff off with the mortal wounds. So don't come into my kill box with these 4 guys. So that's turn 1. You're adding up to 500 points to your army. I guess not quite 500 points. They're 90 each. But you're adding quite a bit. You're adding 5 units, up to 5 units of Saurus Warriors every turn. Now, this is going to cost a lot of command points, but you're generating quite a few every turn. So you should have the capital to do that. And then if they do get through your lines, slam into them with the Stegadon, hit them with Croak's spammable spells. It's going to be a fun list. I think I'm going to have to drop this on the table against an opponent and see how it does. So, what do you guys think? How's this list? Is this a 3-2 list at a tournament, or worse? Either way, it'd be fun. You'd have to bring a ton of Saurus Warriors. Let's pretend everything goes right, and you summon 50 Saurus Warriors a turn. Whew. You have 250 warriors, right? I don't think you'd need that many, but. Oh, man. Would be fun list. All right. Thanks, Lewis Keel, for the suggestion and opening my eyes to maybe I need to. I probably don't need to bring 4 engines, but maybe I need to bring more than 1. Could be fun. All right. Let me know what you guys think. What would this army do in a tournament?